When North Americans look to retire in Mexico's Yucatán Peninsula, most people point them towards Mérida. What if Mérida is just too big, too loud, and too overwhelming for you? But what if you want the incredible colonial architecture, the safety, and the deep Mayan culture, all without the stress and at a much lower cost? Welcome to Valladolid. It is a stunning Pueblo Mágico that feels exactly like a Merida-Lite. But the big question we always ask here on the channel is, just because a place is charming and affordable, does that actually make it livable in the long term? Today we're putting Valladolid through the 10 dimensions of the GeoPension Report Card. Does it score higher than the beach town of Tulum? Can it truly compete with a gold standard of Mérida? Stick around until the end and I'll reveal its final score to see if this is the ultimate low-stress alternative. Valladolid offers a vibe that is at once urban sophistication and completely relaxing. It features an easily walkable, charming colonial downtown where you really don't need a car for your daily errands. But the real secret weapon of this micro-location is the logistics. Valladolid sits perfectly positioned in the center of the peninsula. You have an incredibly easy access via the comfortable ADO bus or the brand new Tren Maya directly to the Cancun airport. That means you get quick non-stop flights back to the US or Canada to visit the grandkids without actually having to live in the chaotic, overpriced tourist bubble of Cancun itself. But can Valladolid pass the affordability stress test for a North American pension? But before we bring up the scorecard to find out, I am thrilled to announce that my new book, How to Retire Abroad on a Social Security Budget, is officially live on Amazon. It is the ultimate step-by-step written playbook for the GeoPension framework. It teaches you exactly how to stretch a fixed income into a premium lifestyle overseas without sacrificing your safety or health care. Scan the QR code on your screen right now or click the link at the very top of the video description to grab your copy today. All right, let's run the numbers. A single expat retiree can live comfortably in Valladolid for around $1,500 to $2,500 a month. While basic frugal living can be achieved around $1,500, a budget of $1,800 to the $2,500 really allows for a more comfortable lifestyle, including renting a beautifully restored apartment, dining out frequently, running your air conditioning, which is really important in the summer here, and enjoying local entertainment. Let's dig into exactly why that is across our 10 categories. Number 1, housing cost fit, 9 out of 10. Your dollar goes incredibly far here. Valladolid features very affordable apartment and home rentals that easily fit a Social Security budget. But here is the massive real estate secret for buyers. Under the Mexican Constitution, foreigners cannot directly own residential property within 50 kilometers of the coast. You have to use a fideicomiso, a bank trust. Those trusts cost thousands of dollars to set up, require a ton of annoying paperwork, and charge annual maintenance fees of $500 or more. Because Valladolid is located inland, it sits entirely outside of this restricted zone. That means if you want to buy a home here, you can purchase it directly in your own name with a standard deed, an escritura pública. It is a massive financial and logistical win that saves you a fortune in banking fees over your retirement. Number 2, healthcare access, 7.5 out of 10. Medical care here is perfectly fine for basic to mid-level routine care. There are several reliable private clinics in town, and, like elsewhere in Mexico, local pharmacies often have doctors attached for cheap, on-the-spot consultations for minor ailments. However, Valladolid is not a massive medical tourism hub. If you have complex chronic issues or need highly specialized surgery, you will need to utilize the easy highway access to reach the excellent world-class hospitals located 2 hours away in Cancun or Mérida. Number 3, safety and stability, 8.5 out of 10. Valladolid holds the coveted Pueblo Mágico, or Magic Town, designation from the government, which brings in federal funds to keep the city pristine and heavily patrolled. It is incredibly safe and peaceful. This is a tight-knit community where cartel violence affecting locals or tourists is virtually non-existent. You can comfortably and safely walk around the central plazas and colonial alleyways late at night. During my visit, I noticed numerous solo female travelers walking around town at night. Number 4, walkability and transport, 8.5 out of 10. The colonial downtown is highly walkable, completely flat, and organized on a simple grid. The only minor issue is that some of the historic sidewalks can be quite narrow, but it's the regional transport that shines, with cheap local taxis, comfortable ADO buses, and the brand new Train Maya station. Popping over to Mérida for the weekend or getting to the Cancun airport is an absolute breeze. In fact, with the new Train Maya, it's a snap to enjoy a few days on the beaches of Playa del Carmen while avoiding the high cost and stress of actually living in that over-popular beach town. Fact is, you do not need to own a car in Valladolid. Number 5, community and belonging, 7.5 out of 10. The expat community here is growing, but it remains much smaller and less organized than the massive, sometimes overwhelming hubs like Lake Chapala or Mérida. You won't find endless English-speaking expat clubs or massive weekly meetups. The people who retire here tend to be culturally curious. Integrating takes a bit more effort, but the local Mexican community is famously welcoming, and the rewards are genuine local friendships rather than just living in an expat bubble. Number 6, language and English access, 6 out of 10. This is a critical boots-on-the-ground reality check. Because Valladolid is an authentic Mexican town and not a massive international beach resort, you will absolutely need basic Spanish. Whether you are negotiating rent, setting up your internet with Telmex, or buying groceries at the local mercado, do not expect the person across the counter to speak English. If you are willing to learn, it's a wonderful, immersive environment. If you refuse to learn Spanish, you will find daily life frustrating. 7, climate and environment, 7 out of 10. It's the Yucatán, which means it gets very hot and very humid. Because Valladolid is inland, you do not get the coastal sea breezes that a place like Tulum enjoys, creating a bit of a heat island effect in the summer. You will be relying heavily on your air conditioning. However, the region's saving grace is the water. The town is completely surrounded by, and even built on top of, stunning freshwater cenotes. These natural limestone swimming holes offer incredible, refreshing places to cool off every single day. Number 8, pets and environment, 7.5 out of 10. The walkable streets and nearby parks are great for dogs. And there are very affordable, high-quality local veterinarians in town. However, like many authentic Mexican towns, you will encounter free-roaming street dogs. While usually docile, they can be territorial, so you need to keep a close eye on your own pets during your daily walks and be mindful of those narrow colonial sidewalks. And now we hit the standard Mexico visa fork in the road. To acquire a residency visa in 2026, you need to prove your income of roughly $4,300 a month, or show assets of at least $75,000. If you clear that financial hurdle, Valladolid's practicality is high. The overall cost of living is low. Avoiding the coastal fideicomiso makes buying property much simpler, and handling local bureaucracy is often easier here because the offices aren't overwhelmed with thousands of other expats. And finally, number 10, the vibe check, 8.5 out of 10. This is the ultimate Merida-Lite factor. there is still a ton of deep Maya and Spanish colonial culture to soak in, stunning architecture, and amazing local food. Yes, it has less going on than the massive cultural powerhouse of Mérida. You won't find a symphony or massive museums, but the trade-off is a much more relaxing, less chaotic, slower-paced daily life. It's the kind of town where your biggest Sunday decision is what flavor marquesita to buy in the plaza. The final score is in. Valladolid earns a fantastic overall 78 out of 100. For context, that places it notably higher than the chaotic tourist hub of Tulum Pueblo, which scored a 74. It sits just slightly lower than the gold standard of Mérida, making it the absolute perfect sweet spot between chaos and calm. If you want colonial charm, incredibly affordable housing with no fideicomiso required, and easy train or bus access to the airport to see your family, Valladolid might just be your perfect GeoPension destination. Let me know in the comments below. Would you choose the quiet, walkable charm of Valladolid or the bustling big city culture of Mérida? If you want to see exactly how Valladolid compares to its coastal neighbor, check out my reality check video on Tulum Pueblo. And if the Mexican visa requirements are just too steep for your current budget, make sure you are subscribed for my ongoing Boots on the Ground series on the Dominican Republic, where the visa income requirement entry bar is much lower. Don't forget to click that QR code or the link in the description to get your copy of my brand new GeoPension book, How to Retire Abroad on a Social Security Budget. Available now on Kindle and in paperback. I'll see you in the next video.